Hey guys, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone had a great week. And today I thought we would talk about Canada. Um, I feel like, okay, a couple of weeks ago I'd done a video on, I called it my top favorite Canadian booze. And the reason for that video, although I don't make it obvious in the title at all, but and that was on purpose. I just wanted to chill and have a nice little conversation. I didn't want too much drama in that video. So yeah, I labeled that exactly how I did, very much on purpose. Um, but I had done that video because of the tariffs that were happening. And so for those that don't know, because I know when it comes to Canada, yes, we are the United States neighbor, but aside from that, a lot of Americans have no idea how kind of close we are to you and how much we kind of work together and yeah. So I've always considered Canada kind of like, you know, we're we're basically friends with the United States, but we are our own country and we don't want to be part of you, right? Yeah, that's how I've always seen it. So couple of weeks ago, there was the tariff thing, and well, that's when I made the video, but it's been going on for about a month now. And so that was basically that included like a anything that was imported through like from Canada and Mexico would get like a 25% tariff fee. From that point, that video was around the time of when he first kind of announced it. They did do a 30-day kind of postpone on it to just finalize some decisions. So we don't know if that's actually happening or not. And the 30 days it's coming up pretty soon. I can't, I'm just winging this video, so I'm not looking at like yeah, my computer's way over there. I'm just winging this video, so I can't tell you an exact date. But it's been at least 2 weeks. I would say probably 3 weeks. We're probably like a week away from finding out what's gonna actually happen. Yeah, so that has pissed off Canadians right off the bat. That was once again, back to my video I did a couple of weeks ago. That was why I did that video. It was to see, if shit does go down, and I even say it, those exact words in that video. If shit goes down, do I like enough Canadian booze, right? And it turned out pretty much everything I like to drink is Canadian, Canadian based. So, but it doesn't only affect alcohol. It's going to affect groceries. It's going to affect many different things, right? So now we've gotten to the point where Canada's like boycotting the United States. Now, I'd love to sit back and say that I'm one of them, but I really am not. I love my video games, and by boycotting the United States, I guess I would have to stop gaming for a bit because they all come from either the States or China, So yeah. So, am I upset with the changes? Or am I upset with what Trump has been basically doing? Yeah. Yeah, and I predicted this a year ago. I remember a year ago, I'm like, if Trump wins, he's gonna fucking try to fuck over Canada. No one believed me. They were all loving Trump at that time. Even some Canadians were like, oh, if he does win, maybe he'll help fix some stuff since we're his neighbor. And I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? I knew damn straight it was not gonna be good. Right? Because I've seen enough interviews with the guy. he, I don't know, it's like he pretends to like Canada, but then you can see that he really does not like Canada at all. He says he's got friends that are Canadian, but like I think he just maybe is friendly with those people, but as a country, yeah, I see a whole different side of him when it comes to Canada. And yeah, so there's been some more stuff since then. At the time when I did that video, it was just tariffs. Afterwards, he started talking about how Canada should be the 51st state. And now Canadians, not only did that, that like something like that would either never happen or happen way into the future. Like something like that would take so long to kind of all go through. I predict I'd be dead by the time something like that happened. But it did piss people off. For good reason, because I'm just gonna say, as a Canadian, born and raised here, most of us do not want to be American citizens. Like if a Canadian wanted to be an American citizen, they would just move to the States and do that. Yeah, most of us like this country, and I know a lot of people use healthcare. Like, healthcare is not the number one reason Canadians stay here. The healthcare is not that good. Like, I'm just gonna say, is it better than the States? Yeah, I guess. You probably won't, die from waiting as much as you would in the States. But because it is free, which it isn't, it's paid through tax dollars, but because it is free, you wait longer. It takes you longer to get in, so like it's really good for the not so urgent situations, like if you need to, some prescriptions, or you need to do like a regular checkup, or you hurt yourself and you need that. But if you need anything that requires, like, I don't know, some tests and some scans, and yeah, that's where it sucks. Yeah, it's really only good for situations where you can, where traditionally you would go in, they would check you out, and then you leave, type deal. So that's not, we stay here because we love Canada. It's yeah. So, because I know stereotypes are stereotypes, right? I'm pretty sure, for the most part, Americans just know that we have free healthcare, that people say A, which is only on one side of the country. My streams like never heard me say it. And what else? Maple syrup and hockey and igloos, winter. Yeah, like the amount that you guys know about us is so fucking little. So for my non-Canadian people that watch these videos, I thought I would just talk a bit about this. So the boycotting has definitely started because of, people were already pissed about the tariffs, but the 51st state comment really pissed Canadians. And they started kind of mocking it a bit by saying, well, maybe Los Angeles should be our next province, our 11th province. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, that is where it started. And I want to show you guys this clip. This is Stephen Colbert. He's a late show talk host. I'm sure you know of him, but if you don't watch that kind of stuff. And he said it perfectly. So here's the clip.
Donald Trump is doing so many stupidly bad things, so badly stupidly, that it's difficult to keep up. Anyone who's ever had a toddler knows this feeling. You leave the room for 1 second, and when you come back, everything from the bookshelves is on the floor, the walls are covered in ketchup, and when you ask who gave the dog a haircut with safety scissors, your kid says, it was DEI.
So yeah, and the most recent one has been, there was a hockey game the other night, and Canada was booing the US, and for good reason.
8-year-old Kyra Daniel.
Apparently at some point, I imagine it was before the last game, but at some point, US had booed Canada, but it was a lot less. The Canada booing the US was definitely a lot more increased and more effective, I guess. For good reason. You know, we aren't doing anything to the United States. Like the fact that anyone even booed Canada is kind of hilarious on its own, because all the stuff is being done to Canada. We've been your neighbor forever, longer than I've been born, and yeah. So yeah, I hate to be the I told you so person, but I fucking called this shit like a year ago. Maybe I have like an up when I call some of this stuff, because the thing is, like, I feel like when it comes to a lot of political stuff, there's a lot of newcomers to online space, right? COVID brought that. So if you were barely online prior to COVID, then this is probably all new to you. But I'm just gonna say, I've been online my entire life, and as a Canadian, I have seen the mocking of Canada. We have been bullied every step of the way online since I can remember. I remember, like, I've gotten used to it. When TikTok started coming out, there was like a bunch of videos on like Canadians being so surprised on how they were treated online, and I was sitting back there laughing, because I've adapted to this like for already 20 plus years, right? So to see these newcomer online people seeing how Canadians actually get treated, yeah, it's, I saw it in my gaming space a long time ago. It's mellowed out a bit over time, but if you're in the space long enough and you're socializing, so this is only for people that do actually talk to other people, but if you if you're in the online space and socializing with Americans, which, let's be real, it was amazing like 20 years ago if you could like be in the same room as another Canadian, unless you were in an actual Canadian like chat room or something. Yeah, that was amazing. Pretty much like all my friends are American, so yeah, I have maybe like 3 or 4, like I can count my Canadian friends on one hand. Yeah. Which is why I have this different perspective, right? I'm a Canadian born and raised girl that experiences Canada, but I socialize with Americans, So yeah. So I have respect for both countries, obviously more for my own, but I'm not oblivious to what is going on in the States. I know what's going on in both countries. I'm just gonna say I'm glad Canada won the hockey game the other night, because I remember I read somewhere that one of the comments Trump had made was that something along the lines of, we're gonna kick the ass of our soon to be 51st state. And I was like, oh, Canada, you gotta win now. You have to win. Right? So, yay. Yay. Thanks, Canada. Yeah. So that's all I gotta say. I didn't want to really make this like a drama video or anything, and unfortunately videos like this end up being just that. Yeah, let me know, how much do you know about Canada? If this was happening, well, most of my people are probably from the States, but if you aren't from Canada and you're not from the United States, what would you do if this was happening? You know, this is a lot. This is like, I'm just gonna say, there's two outcomes here. One, he's gonna start a fucking war with Canada. You know, he's already started. That's the number one outcome there. And number two outcome is that he doesn't start the war, but Canada will always look at the states differently. Like he is 100%, he has changed the average Canadian perspective, right? And for those people, I was talking about stereotypes. I left out the most important stereotype that people think we are, which is nice, right? And I've been telling my friends for fucking 20 plus years that we're not nice. My friends are complete assholes in Canada. So my asshole friends are technically the nice ones. So yeah, I've always told people that that's like a huge stereotype. And then the weird part is Canadians online actually agree that we're nice. So it's hard for me to like I keep saying it because that is my experience as a Canadian. Like, there are no nice people. No one holds a door open for you. No one says hi when you're walking down the street. And it's every man for himself out here. Like, I don't know where these Canadians are living that they think the country is fucking nice people. And then of course I guess that's, you know, that's how Americans see it, but I have never seen it that way. I did a trip, like this was a while ago, probably 20 years ago. I went to Montreal. I was just kind of passing through, and I couldn't even get service because, you know, because I didn't speak French, and because of that, I was, you know, they're French English, you know, and because of that, I was treated like garbage. So I've always hated the French. First impressions matter. Also, Trudeau said he was stepping down, and he's still in charge right now. So I don't know when his official step down is, but you know. And for those that don't know, he's been running the show over here for almost 10 years. You know, like I feel like that's an important thing to say in this video, because people might think Canada's similar to like the US with like elections and stuff, but no. He has been the prime minister for since 2013. Yeah. Well, 2013 he was in the party, the Liberal Party. And then 2015 is when he became prime minister. So he's been running the show for 10 years. Yeah. So yeah, things work a little differently over here. But you know, which is another reason why so many people want him out, right? Because he's been screwing shit up for 10 fucking years. So, yeah. But anyway, that's basically it. I just wanted to kind of chit chat a bit about that. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on it. I'm interested to see where this is all gonna go. I know some people are like, oh, well, the 51st state was just a joke. Might I add, I remember when Elon Musk bought Twitter and he named it X, a lot of people thought that he was just kidding around and he was going to put it back to Twitter, you know, in a week or so. And I was telling people, I'm like, no, I don't think this is a joke. He bought Twitter, so he's going to rebrand it. And he's the space guy. Why wouldn't he rebrand it to X, right? X made sense. And another thing people didn't quite believe me on, but I'm just gonna say, I might be a gamer, I might be a girl, and I might be quiet, but I know a lot of fucking shit. I follow a lot of stuff, and I am pretty informed on a lot of things, which means I can predict a lot of things. And you know, I know people. I know businesses. You know, I was a business owner myself. And yeah, you know, the life experiences has allowed me to predict things pretty damn good at this point in my life. And yeah, so yeah, that's why I can predict things, and most of the time they are what happens because I'm pretty informed in this stuff. So I just wanted to kind of end on the note of that anything could happen, you know. I'm not saying that wasn't him being funny, but he did seem pretty fucking serious. I'm just gonna say he wasn't laughing when he said it, you know, and neither was anyone else. So yeah, and also might I add that like the tariff stuff is gonna increase people's grocery bills, you know, like all these decisions. I sit back and I look at the decisions he's making, and they're all decisions that are not gonna help you financially, you know, like these are all decisions that are gonna up the price of stuff that you're buying. As far as the tariffs, if that goes through, I could see Canada not dealing as much with the states, you know. So yeah, he's definitely doing like a trade war here, right? There's so many people that think, you know, Canada's worthless, we can live without them type deal, right? But you guys get a lot from us, and I feel like you guys will never realize that until something big like this happens and goes through and Canada says, fuck you, we're not dealing with you. You know, don't get me wrong, it goes both ways. We get stuff from the States as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of an oddball one. Politics is not our main content. I just wanted to talk about what was going on this week. It's kind of a lot right now, and it, you know, directly affects my country. And I am very interested in seeing how it's all going to pan out eventually. So, and also I know a lot of my viewers are not Canadian. You know, a lot of you guys are, I would say, United States and Australia, and maybe some UK. But yeah, Canada just isn't one of those. I think the only Canadian, I can't quote this because I don't know where everyone's from, but I would be willing to bet the only Canadian viewer I have on this channel is my friend Mark. He's my best friend, and he watches some of these videos. Yeah. Yeah, because we're not a big enough channel yet, right? Like we only have 39 subs right now. So yeah. So with that said, if you like the video, definitely help me out and subscribe. But once again, this is a we are not a political channel. I'm never gonna make it into a political channel. This is a vlog where I talk about many different things. So yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I've blabbed enough. I don't want to drag it out too much longer. So I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.